watching Steve's Off-Grid Adventures.
I'm just doing a little walk around through the bush to assess the damage that the winter caused. And there's obviously some damage from before that. That's going to have to all be cleaned up. So I figured I'd take you guys with me. Lots of standing dead stuff. This little one right here. That's got to come out for sure. There's another one over here. It's not actually dead yet. But it will be dead very soon. Check that out. It's definitely not happy. The bark's all falling off. It's rotting at the bottom. It's not a huge tree by any means, but it's definitely not happy. I'll keep an eye on that one. It might come down. This black cherry over here definitely needs to stay though. We're going to do our best to clear all the way around that and let it take off, hopefully. It's got a widowmaker stuck in the top of it at the moment, piece of pine. I don't know how well you can see that up there, but it's definitely there. Be very careful around that. This ironwood is already bent over from something else hitting it, so it's going to come out. It's good nightwood. A whole bunch of stumps in here that got to be cleaned up and pulled out. That one. That one. Some firewood that I left there last year. It's ready to go. Big chip pile. I'll take care of that too. I'll start clearing this road a little bit better. It's easy to get the big tractor in. It's always nice to have the big tractor instead of the little one. A few small trees there that got to be cleaned up. Just to let the bigger ones go. Like right in there. I'll take 1, 2, 3, probably 4 right by that rock. Although, yeah, the top of that one's already gone. Unfortunately, it snapped. So that's definitely coming out. You could probably take that one and then the other small ones and let this one take off. Just the amount of cleanup in this bush is daunting. Because there's so much. And this is only one section of our bush. Like all that little stuff right there. That should all come out. That's, I do believe, smooth ironwood. We have 2 different types of ironwoods here. Now, I'm definitely not an arborist or a logger. So, when it comes to trees in general, I have a pretty good understanding. But to tell you exactly what every single tree is, I'm not the right person. That stuff's all going to be pulled out of there. Good firewood. Nightwood. I like to keep rounds about 3-4 inches and throw them in at night. Primarily hardwood. Softwoods can work too, but they're not as good. Just a whole bunch of little stuff has got to go. Here's a top of a poplar that I took down last year. We needed sawmill logs, and that was a pretty good candidate for, I think we made 2x6s out of it. I stole the bottom section, of course, and left the top for firewood. I'll yank that out of there. There's only a handful of the black cherries on this property, so anytime we come across one, we try to clear everything around it so it can take off. We have a fair bit of maple, ash, oak, lots of poplar. Poplar grows like a weed here. We do have pines as well, not so much for spruce though. There's a couple of nice maples right there. We used to tap those trees quite a while ago. Well, I guess about 7 years ago, 7, 8 years. These were some of the original tapped maples. We have a better spot for tapping now, but we haven't actually needed to produce any more maple syrup for ourselves because we produced so much over the last 4 or 5 years. But these dead branches should come off. Anything that's low lying should come off. And eventually one of those two is going to have to go. Maybe even both of them at once. Because there's a great big hole right between them. Every time it rains and snows, it just builds up in there and starts rotting the core. And once this butt is completely rotted out, it's just going to fall over. And we don't want that. We'd like to harvest it before it dies. And it's laying on the ground, of course. But yeah, some of this stuff's been down for quite a while. This one here, it's totally rotted. It's pure punky. It's good for nothing. That's good fire pit wood. I wouldn't want to burn that in a house and stove. You can, but it does not burn well. And then you got to thin out some of these birch because you can see they're already starting to die off. The branches just fall off basically. Unfortunately, we don't have very good soil here, very stony as you can see. Lots of stones everywhere. So the tap roots don't actually get to penetrate the earth, and that's what happens. It just rots. And then the top will just fall off of it. And yeah, that's barely usable for firewood at this point. It's kind of solid, but not really. So that one's definitely got to go. And then this other small one is already starting to die off. You can see the one main branch at the top already cracked and fell. And then that leader branch looks like it's already dead. It's just kind of hanging on there. So we'll clean that one up. And then we'll pick one of these two to let grow. Between the two, I would say that one, this one, is a better option to leave because it's in better shape and it's closer to the main trunk. This one kind of shoots off the side of it. It is a little bit bigger than the other one, but it's already starting to fall apart. So between those two, I would pick this one to come out. And unfortunately, it's going to be an interesting drop because it's already leaning out towards this other birch. And I'd like to save that one. So we might use the winch to pull that one over. Drop it down into this spot right here. It'll push down all that baby stuff like it's not even there. Especially with the winch. And the closer we can get to our road, the better. That one almost looks like a basswood more than oak. Let's go take a peek. Might be oak. Yeah, it's definitely oak. For myself, anyways, one of the easiest ways to figure out what a tree is, there's little acorns right under the tree. It's not exactly focusing on it, but there you go. There's a bunch of acorns, which come from oak tree. So, it's definitely oak, 100%. So That was an old drop. I think that was like 3 years ago. Certainly not the prettiest cut, but got the job done. And these ones up here are going to have to get thinned out as well. On the left side is maple, sure. And then on the right side, I think those are basswood. I think one of these are going to have to come out this year, though. There's a whole bunch of firewood still laying around. Just has to be pulled out, cut up. That's been down for quite a while, so yeah. We'll check it with the moisture meter, and once it's cut, you might be able to use it right away. This one's already been thinned as well. There's 2 cuts on it. See the one that's sitting there, the little baby one. They all want to fall back into the bush. Although this one's kind of hung up in what I think is a basswood. Looks like bass. Which has been thinned like crazy. A baby one, bigger one. 2 for 1 on that one. It's kind of hard to go by the leaves though, because they just get blown around with all the wind. So any of these downed leaves, yeah, I wouldn't trust, because they just go all over the place. And that's kind of another road that I was cutting in a few years back, just to get us access to these trees. With the winch and the small tractor, we can go almost anywhere. You got a 100-foot cable on the winch, so if we can get 100 feet in, you can pretty much get anything from these little side roads that we made. There's a lot of other firewood just sitting here though, all standing dead, falling apart, bent over. Stuff that just needs to be cleaned up. Yeah, let's go further in. I'll bring you back when there's something good. Unfortunately, both of those got to go. That one's already rotting to the point where the bugs are taking over. It's not going to be much longer till that's just laying on the ground. Next good windstorm probably take it down. That is quite rotted. Try to get out of the plan. There you go. Yeah. It's just turning to dust and soil. Decomposition. Once that starts, yep, your window for getting firewood out of it closes. So that one for sure is coming out, no question. And then this one here, the bark's already starting to fall off of that. But further up the tree, it still looks healthy, except for that giant split. I don't know if you can see that from this zoomed out version. Let's see if we can get that. No, it's not picking it up because of the shadow. There's a great big split up there anyways, right where the Y is. So lots of firewood there. Might even get a saw log out of that. We'll see. That one still looks pretty good. Not many branches on the bottom. I don't know, 20 feet roughly. The base still looks good. A little bit of bark coming off of there, but That's nothing serious. There's no holes anywhere. That's a nice tree. Some nice lumber out of that. There's a couple of marks on it. I don't know if you can see that. No. Need better lighting. Anyways, there's two that look like slashes. Roughly, I don't know, 12 feet, 14 feet up. It's interesting. It definitely healed itself, whatever it was from. But overall, it's in nice shape. The sun glare is kind of messing with the picture. There's a nice pine back there. And none of these trees are overly big. It's not like they're old growth or anything like that. Like that pine might be 22 at best at the butt. It's not huge. But the problem with this area, if we let this tree grow any bigger, it's going to start to rot. And then it's going to be worthless for sawmill logs. So we want to try to get it. And I see the bugs are already getting into it right there. Woodpeckers. Once you see the woodpecker holes, you know there's bugs in it. Because the woodpeckers are going after the bugs. So when you see that, it's time to take it down. There's big holes up there. So that one's probably going to come down too. This summer. Let me bring back out. There you go. So many different trees that just have to be cleaned up, taken down, processed. Now we do have the appropriate equipment to do it. No question about that. That's actually another black cherry right there. You can tell by the shaggy bark on it. It's the only type tree here with that bark. That specific looking bark. And it's a pretty good size. It's not very straight though. Very crooked. Nice looking tree. Already got some dead branches. Keep an eye on that one. I hate using cherry for firewood though, because I know what it's worth. But that crooked of a tree, it's not very good for much. It's too hard to cut on the mill. By the time you cut it down into a cant, you've already eliminated almost half of the usable wood. There's another oak, little baby one. Maybe 10 inches at the butt, best case scenario. More birch over there, should be thinned. There's a dead poplar. Surprised that one's still standing. Maybe top. There's not much left of that tree. I do believe that other dead one beside it is an ash with no top on it. Top already fell off. That's definitely firewood. That one's definitely firewood. There's even woodpecker holes in this one, unfortunately, and dead branches. Anytime you take a stroll through the woods, you definitely want to look up. Any branches that have rotted and are being held up by another tree or another branch or anything like that could easily be dislodged by a good gust of wind. So you want to be completely aware of what's above you. Now this one is definitely firewood, 100%. Giant hole. Not much left on that one. But whatever is there for firewood, we'll take. That one probably going to stay for now. Oh, never mind. Big hole on the other side of it. Firewood. Here's the other end of that other one. That one just fell right there. And yeah, once they hit the ground, they just explode because they're so rotted. Yeah, you can see the hole on that one is coming out for sure. Firewood. Firewood, firewood, firewood. Lots of firewood. I'd like to come in though and clean up these other trees that are still healthy. Take off all the lower branches right up to about 8 feet, so you can come in here, walk around without getting smacked in the face by a branch. See, that's another good example. Lots of stone. And the fact that these trees grew up through it is pretty cool. And they're a fair size too. But they're just not getting the nutrients required to feed them. Oh, got a little kitten following me. What do you want? What? What is it? Hey? You following me? What is it? You come for a walk? Hey, bye-bye. You gonna follow me? Yeah, let's go. Another pine tree there. I want to clean that one up. There's a lot of chip wood in here as well. 1, 2, 3 inch pieces. I like to keep 3 inch for nightwood, like I was saying before. But the 1 and 2 inch, yeah, there's not much point processing that into firewood. Just drag the chipper out and chip it all. And preferably right onto our side roads, so we have easy access all the time. Now in the winter time, none of this is accessible because we can't get in here with the tractors or the snowblower. For that particular reason right there. All the stones. I could cut a road in, but you got to work around all of these stones. See, this is what happens to birch. If you don't take it at the right time, it just falls apart. And those are not big at all. They rot to the point they just fall over, and then that's it. There's no firewood there at all. It's all rot. The forest can keep that. The bugs and birds, any other critters, they can play in it. And really good hiding spot for spiders too. There's another pine right there. One right next to it. Actually, I think that one is a spruce. I do believe. Yeah. See stuff like this, it's just kind of hanging on. You gotta be careful. That one's not too bad because it's low to the ground. You can see it very easy. But if that's hanging up in a branch above you, you definitely don't want to get smacked by that. This other YouTuber, I don't know if you guys know him, Bucking Billy Ray. He had a very, very, very bad experience with that quite a while ago. He's recovered since then, but he was never the same afterwards. His full story is on his channel, Bucking Billy Ray Smith. Yeah, he's a great guy. I learned a lot from him. Lots of ash back there too. That's a decent stand right there. They're all small though. I think the biggest one there might be 6 inches at the butt. But just the pure density doesn't allow much to get through here for sunlight and for nutrients to be shared between all of this. There's too much competition. We got to get in here and clean up all this other stuff. And hopefully the bigger healthy trees do well and the smaller, younger trees that we clean up in the process start to take off. Because we don't want to just clear cut all of this and not have any more forest. It's very similar to animal husbandry. You treat the animals with care, you take care of them. Do the same thing with your forest. Because if you just clear cut all of it, then it's gone forever. We just want to clean it up and have a healthy forest. I'd like to see the whole forest with trees like that. Quite healthy, fair size, and you got a great big nest at the top of it. That's pretty cool. I do pay attention to that as well when I'm cutting down trees. If it's got a giant nest at the top of it, I'll track when the birds are there and not there. And hopefully there's no eggs in the nest, but you can never tell that. Not from down here anyways. I'm sure if I climbed all the way up there I could see it, but no. I'm not a tree climber. I don't even have the gear to do it. Yeah. So this is the part of the bush that I can access at the moment. Oh, crazy kitten. What? What do you want? What? Say hi. Say hi to YouTube. You'll be famous. Another good pine there. Another dead top right there. I could spend months cleaning up this bush in between doing everything else. We'll get there, slowly but surely. Well, that's going to conclude this adventure. We're going to get into the big bush at some point, and I'll show you a whole bunch more. But for now, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Take care.